Welcome to the Diversity Connector podcast, where we explore the rich tapestry of human experiences. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the country on which we meet today. I would also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging, and together as we dive into conversations that bridge cultures, challenge stereotypes, and celebrate the unique perspectives each of us brings to the table. Each episode is a journey through stories and insights from a kaleidoscope of voices, each sharing their colorful narrative. Whether you're at home, on the go, or just anywhere in between, you're now part of a community that values understanding, inclusivity, and the beauty of diversity. So plug in your headphones, get comfortable, and let's connect through the power of our shared stories. Welcome, and thank you for joining us on the Diversity Connector podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Diversity Connector. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating woman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, how old you are, and share your story with us today.
Hello. My name's Felisa Moffat. I live on the Gold Coast and I'm 53 years old. And my story is that I didn't know that I was neurodiverse until the age of 49.
So you found out that you were neurodiverse at the age of 34. How did you cope up until that point?
It was actually 49. I'm now 53. So that's when I was a support worker before I sort of had a pause and couldn't work, and I went through compensation, workers' comp. As a support worker, I was attacked by an individual, by a high complex needs individual. And I worked in that area because because I care about people, and I love helping people, and that was my passion. But then I got injured on the job. So when I went through compensation, I thought, and I went through the government, and I said, I don't know what to do with myself anymore. I can't seem to fit or stay into a job, and I feel like there's something wrong with me. So they said, because they've known me for a long time, they said, why don't we get you assessed for, Asperger's, or if you have autism, because both of my children are autistic. And I had them diagnosed back in the early, not 1998. And then the other one followed suit. My son, he had difficulties in school. It was always very quiet, not good at making friends, very shy, and would be nervous doing presentations. I was the same. I was very quiet, didn't like to associate with people, and not very confident within ourselves. I know that we were completely different. So that's when I found out, after being assessed through a psychologist that specializes in autism. You go through a series of tests, and they also test for your behavioral skills, and also your communication skills. That's one of the problems I had, was I don't think I communicated very well. As you can see, I tend to struggle sometimes to try and explain things. And I can start
you a way to cope, though. I mean, for them to diagnose you at 49, your whole life you've been struggling with this. If there is somebody who is in the workplace, maybe a manager listening to this podcast, what are some of the things that can be done to help an individual like you? Because neurodiversity has so many different faces and different experiences. How do you think somebody working with you could help you in the workplace, especially?
Well, that's the thing. It's a very, very sensitive topic, and it depends on whether the government or the employer has the time to be able to customize, the sort of work for you to settle into, and it has to go through special channels, which is time consuming. Like you need to have a specialist come in and work with you, like a occupational therapist as well, because it relates to how you communicate. It doesn't necessarily mean like the physical sense, but occupational therapy can refer to the way I talk to people, the way I comprehend things to people, and we represent information totally different to what when someone asks us a question, I'll misinterpret it and give them a completely different answer. So it's very, very hard. It's hard to identify, and the reason why that we haven't, it's not easy to recognize, is because it's not that we're not stupid. We're generally intelligent, so it doesn't show through the system. And what the system usually looks for is whether people are finding it difficult with the task at hand, like calculations, or the easy stuff. And you can't find that. My daughter is like a genius. For example, she's 30. She's one of my 3 children that I have. And when she was in year 3, she aced all subjects, and the highest. Like, I mean, it sounds ridiculous. Okay, grade 3 and say that they're calculating how well their performance is, and she was the highest in mathematics. And even right through up to year 7, she would ace all her subjects and everything, but they couldn't find a fault in her. You see, they don't find a fault in
Wow.
you unless you don't understand something in what you're taught, which is really crazy. The
Yeah.
only thing that stands out is your behavior, your mannerism, and sometimes it can stand out. You might behave really quirky, or you might pretend you're something else. And like, for example, my daughter would run around with both her feet in one side of the pants, and then the other side of the pants was the tail. She'd run around and saying, "Rah, I'm a dragon," or a monster or something like that. And people are going, "Oh, what's wrong with this girl?" So you can tell when we're totally different. The way we talk,
Yeah.
the way we come across, you can tell we are different.
Wow.
And we don't make friends that easily, because we just don't think on the same wavelength as
Okay.
neurotypicals, as we would call people that are normal. We call them neurotypicals.
So you eventually branched into business. Tell us how that came about and what your business is all about.
Okay, I've tried that many different types of employment industries, and mind you, quite a range of employment background, which has been a great thing for me, because back in the days, 20 years ago, you had to have 10 years of experience or they don't look at you. They don't look at your profile. If you had less than 6 months, they're not interested in hiring because you don't show stability. And look what's happening to the world now. If you can have that many different types of experience, being receptionist, accountant, and secretary all in one go, that's taken like 5 people. You're paid for 5 people and you're hired. So the funny thing is, I was ahead of time back then. Now, fast forward to last year, I was having a look at self-employment. I thought, well, how hard would that be to go on a journey on my own, to see whether I can do it, to see what, opportunities that I can explore. And that's when I came across Serena Russo. Are you familiar with Serena Russo Institute?
Yes.
She's
Yes.
an amazing lady. We got to see her through live streaming through the classroom, and I was inspired by her. Um, she um, she she was amazing with what she did, helping her family and everything like that, and to help people as well. Um, Even though at my stage I'm not helping people except for my family, I wanted to do something about, well, what can I do, to what kind of legacy can I leave for my children, and the difficulties my daughter is facing right now. What can I do for her? So I completed a certificate in new business and entrepreneurship, and that opened a whole new avenue of opportunities. It was quite amazing. And within that information, within over a period of a month, I've learned to find I thought, well, I'll try. I wonder if I can create a commerce with real products and create the site myself. So I went on that journey during the 4 or 5 weeks of training to complete a whole degree within 4 or 5 weeks. It was pretty intense, mind you. And generally, if my passion wasn't in there, I wouldn't be able to complete it. So that's one of our things as well, is with being autistic, is that if we don't find a passion in something, then we can't do it. Yes, you have to have something, a passion within yourself to be able to do it. And so I taught myself, I researched, and I found the suppliers that I needed to find, connected with them. I did everything myself, use the social media platforms, and also the Shopify platforms, which I heard a lot about. I self-taught myself all that and started integrating the product that I wanted. And I got the suppliers to help put the products in my store. So I've got over probably 500 worth of products on there that I put on. And the good thing about this, I thought, is that it's actually a drop shipping, if you want to look at it from a different perspective. And it sounds like really, I don't know, maybe too simple. Drop shipping is like, it's people don't talk much about it. Have you heard of drop shipping?
I have, yes. Where people
Yes.
can just order what they want and you're ordering from your supplier and it's shipped straight to them without you even touching anything, right?
Correct. That was what I
Fantastic.
loved about it. I didn't have to worry about huge overheads until I discovered, okay, there's another type of overhead. It's called working capital. You need business capital. And I thought,
Mhm.
well, I did this business plan and the financial spreadsheet as well during the course of my training, and created a 2-year projection of what I'm supposed to be earning. And the hardest thing that I discovered was the marketing, right? And that's when I know that social media is very important. But then when it comes to social media, it's like, okay, well, how do you get yourself more out there? Like, you have to pay more money, invest more money to get more exposure. It's not always like that. I've discovered since I've connected with networking businesses. My business coach said, go out and network and mingle with other like-minded individuals and learn from them. And I just
Yeah.
had to get out of my comfort zone and just do it, because that's one of the things with being autistic, is that we don't like to really socialize or hang out with people.
Right.
Um, and sometimes, like, three's a crowd. We just
Oh,
like,
wow.
I like this is more comfortable,
Yeah.
and
One-on-one connections.
always worrying about whether people are going to judge you or think, whether really in the back of your mind, you think too much about yourself and whatever, when people probably aren't really thinking about how you are,
Yeah.
you
But it
know.
causes anxiety, it causes stress.
That's correct. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's the other downside of one. We might be, some of us might be really intelligent, which is, what we call high functioning. Um,
Yes.
Autism, but the old term used to be called Asperger's, which is, which was named by the psychologist himself, who's Asperger. And I did a little bit of research about him, but I won't go into it, otherwise we'll never get this story done. Um,
What I
and
want to know now is about your pack and what you're
Oh,
offering.
I'm
The
so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm getting
actors.
carried away. Well, there you go. There's another trait that we have. We go off track as well. So sorry about that, Gertrude. The
Okay.
pack. So I'll tell you a little bit about the store. Okay. So
Yeah.
this is me in a nutshell. So hey there, I'm Felisa. I'm a pet loving, high functioning, neurodiverse entrepreneur and a mama to 3 amazing kids on the spectrum. Now, when neurodiverse individuals are faced with difficult finding a workplace that's not always a fit, I wanted to show my children that anything was possible. I created a family business for them, and that's when Create Packs Australia was born, an online store with a purpose. Plus, we offer more than just amazing pet supplies and accessories. We make buying and returning products easy and convenient. Plus, we source all of our products with your fur babies in mind and deliver them in a jiffy, straight to your door in a jiffy. And on top of it all, we donate $18 from every purchase, split among charities, which is your own local animal shelter. This coming couple of weeks, the next week, actually, it is this week, um, I'm going to sponsor and donate my time to Aussie Wildlife. We're having a animal action day for Aussie Wildlife, to support this lady who represents saving the animals and our wildlife people. Back to myself, sorry, getting off track again. And when you purchase, every purchase that you make can help make a difference in the lives of animals and fur friends. So what are you waiting for? Fetch the love and spoil your pet with a purpose. Now, I'm sorry I got off the track there because I get so excited, Gertrude. But yeah, the Animal Action Day, the 19th, which is a Sunday, the 19th of November, here on the Gold Coast, on the corner in Mermaid Waters. We're having a huge event where there's going to be children under the age of 5 years old can come in. They'll have face painting. There'll be a famous singer there that's going to be playing, which is Keith Potja from The Seekers. He's one of the old Aussie musos back in my dad's time, and
Yes.
I grew up with that. Absolutely lovely man. We did an interview on him too. Loves animals. And there's going to be lots of prizes, like huge prizes and giveaways. Plenty of entertainment. Like there might be a magic show happening as well. So it's going to be really exciting and a chance for me to show some love, how much I love animals, and to support, this good cause for this lady. She doesn't get any funding from the government, like myself. Uh, so I'm working hard to create my business, to try and get it out there so that I can be just like everybody else, that can have something to fall back onto, where we
That is
don't
what.
have to go to work.
So if there was somebody who has the same kind of condition, is on the spectrum, listening to this podcast and thinking about going into business, What three nuggets of wisdom could you give them based on what you've learned up until this point for yourself? Three pieces of advice.
Yeah, first of all, step up and speak up, as Alwyn Turney has said to me. Your desires and wants, in your life, because you're just like any other individual. You want to have a purpose in your life. Definitely put your hand up and ask for help through the government. I believe to a degree the government's very helpful, and there are good communities out there that can help you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Go and seek some specialists if you want to, that can help you on the journey. There are good support systems in place that can help you, get the take you on the journey that you want to get to. Such as myself, I've always got different type of support systems behind me. I have my business support, I have my mental health support, and I also have the government support. And also, your family and friends, very important. um, I hope I've covered everything, but definitely it's all there. And plus, I'd like to be able to, probably I want to create a a room, a talk show like you, to talk about neurodiversity, neurotypical people, Asperger. I don't know if there's many there. I'm going to look into it so we can speak up and step up about ourselves and how we
Yeah.
can help each other. That would be really good. Is that what you're about?
It's really important for these voices to be heard. When we started talking earlier, I said to you, a lot of misunderstanding with people in the workplace and communities is that we don't know the stories. So the more people share the stories, the more it bridges that understanding. Now, to go back to your kids, you had two kids who were challenged. What did you do, for instance, to channel
Same
the
with the third
energy
one.
of your daughter? Also,
Yeah,
all three of them. Okay.
I
So, like
believe
your
all
daughter, you
third
said, is
one.
very artistic. How did she discover her love for art, and how did you keep fostering and pushing her in that direction?
She was self-taught artist, believe it or not. She spent a lot of time um, just drawing and drawing, perfection and perfecting. I don't know how it happened, but she does. It just, you see, if you see me right now, excuse me, she has this U-boot laptop that uses two power packs to do the sort of stuff that she does, because she also does online gaming in real life. Like, how they do the live gaming thing,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And they think so fast that you use the keyboard, you her mind is running a million miles an hour. That is the
Yes.
saddest part as well, is that um, that we have to also have medications because our body can't cope with the extremities of society. We've just born oversensitive, and
Yeah.
we suffer anxiety and depression from being bullied, um, which is you know you just can't hide from it. It just really shows up, and without it, she wouldn't be able to sleep because her mind just ticks 24 hours 24/7. She's always been like that, and she's just naturally gifted. She's self-taught. She used an art program called Adobe Photoshop, and she has this 30-inch giant tablet, which is 30 kilos and probably over $3,000 worth of stuff. But she saved up the money, mind you, for a very long time. She saved up the money for this special tablet, and it's amazing the amount of artwork that she has. It's just absolutely out of this world.
That
Um,
is fantastic. And what
and
about your
I'd like to use her artwork to incorporate in the company, so that you can see it as well. It would be really lovely. What's that?
Love that. So what about your other two children? What have you done to harness their energy?
My son, believe it or not, he too wasn't sure where he was going. He fell out of the system. I think he got bullied by his teacher, and he was too afraid to go back. He only had one friend that he liked all his life. As soon as he changed different teachers, because they have a teacher at the same time, the same teacher over 2 to 3 years, so you get used to it, and he's very kind to him. And as soon as he got another teacher, she was like, like she was in the military or something. And it was a bit scary. So I shouldn't laugh. That's terrible of me. But she was she just seemed really scary. And the principal was like a big bully, and he would say, "Mom, I don't want to go back to school." It was just, oh, my heart just broke. I felt so sorry for him, and that's when we took him to a specialist and found that in the same spectrum as his sister.
Thanks.
And try to educate him at home through long distance education. He eventually found the courage through some friends, to go working in a cafe, and he started from there, and he's found his feet again. But
That's
again,
wonderful.
Difficulty having a relationship with peers and some supervisors. It's very hard.
It's always a challenge.
It's a
And what
challenge
about
for him.
your child?
The eldest one, she had relationship issues. So, and it was only like a couple of years ago, just recently, that when she was working so hard that her body just collapsed, and which was the amount of stress that we can't cope with. And so she said, I'm going to go onto antidepressants because I had a panic attack, anxiety attack, and she couldn't drive the car. And that's what happened with me too. I had that issue when I was trying to take the kids to 3 different schools, driving them to school, and then trying to work, and then my whole body would collapse.
Shut down.
The society is just so heavy that some of us just don't cope.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do? But go out and seek some help. And I'm glad that nowadays there are specialists out there that can help with people on the spectrum.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
But not back then. We just do the best we can from where we are now, which is why I've set the example of creating this store, something totally different that no one has ever done, I don't believe, except for the wholesalers themselves. And I just wanted to prove that, anything's possible, that we can do this. And, to use our creativity.
Yes. Create
and
a business.
Give them, and give them a sense of purpose, that put some ideas together and we can come up with anything.
I love it. Well, this has been such a pleasure catching up with you. Thank you for taking us into your world, explaining to us.
I hope I've given you enough information. And
this has been awesome.
Yes.
So I have your website scrolling at the bottom of the screen. You have all kinds of discounts for people. If anybody out there is looking for gifts for your fur babies, supplies, go on to createpacksaustralia.com.au and connect with Felisa, please. She is an amazing entrepreneur creating a legacy for her children with this journey. So we really want to support you and see you succeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gertrude. I feel very honoured to be here, and I appreciate your time too to listen to my story. And I hope that I can help others out there like me. So please reach out to me.
Already have. So thank you, everybody who's tuned in today. The Diversity Connector is bringing people from diverse backgrounds. Neurodiversity is a big, big, big issue. And the more we talk about it, the more people we talk to and understand the challenges that they face, the more empathetic we can be in the workplace. Thank you, Felisa, for sharing your story. I'll be back again tomorrow with yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
And that's a wrap, everybody, on today's episode of the Diversity Connector podcast. Thank you for tuning in and being part of our vibrant and global conversation. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a tapestry of diverse perspectives. Remember, every story you've heard today is a thread in the larger fabric of our shared humanity. So, as you step back into your world, carry these stories with you and let them inspire you to embrace and celebrate the rich diversity around us. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these inspiring stories with more listeners. Do follow us on social media by looking for the Diversity Connector podcast for more updates. Until then, keep connecting, keep listening, and keep celebrating the beauty of diversity. This is the Diversity Connector podcast signing off. Stay curious, stay open, and definitely stay connected.